also know, but I'm not gonna lie on that man either.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie on Chris. He did tell me when I first brought him around my family, he did tell me that he had charges, and he told me that they were not true.
Yeah.
And like I said, I feel like everybody deserves a second chance.
Right.
But when my son comes and tells me, what he told me,
What
like
did
basically, Zaire just told me that Chris touched him with a paper towel,
with a paper towel?
with a paper towel. So luckily, he wasn't touched
What, like on his
physically.
on his
Yeah, on
privates?
his penis. Yes, on his
Oh my
genital.
goodness. What in the
And
world
just because
for?
that's a paper towel, like you didn't have no reason to touch him in his genital area
No reason
if it
whatsoever.
wasn't medical. You know what I mean? I can understand if you trying something medical and he's in the bathroom and you had to go in there, you know,
Yeah.
and he, done passed out or something. I can see that. But what I can't understand is why is you touching my son on his genital, because then you just trying to get him comfortable with you in that era.
Yeah.
No, I did not. No.
That's
And so
called
when
that's called grooming.
exactly, and
Yeah.
that's how I look at it. But I'm glad that my son knows he can talk to me. But you said, but see, and when I tell you I'm so grateful, my son knows he can talk to me and my boyfriend because
Mhm.
we're not married or whatever. But he came home and he was telling me about the trip
Yeah.
that from Dinosaur Land. I didn't know what he was talking about,
Yeah.
and this some months ago. But he told me how much of a great time he did have, and he was telling me this, that, and the third. And then when he got back, he stayed at Chris' mom's house with Chris,
Mhm.
and he's so excited about this whole trip that he telling me everything.
Yeah.
So when he went to say, well, Chris touched me with a paper towel on, and I was like, what you mean? With a paper towel? Well, he touched me with the paper towel. I said, touched you well. He said, down there. I immediately walked outside. I said, Zaire, you stay right here.
Yeah.
I talked to my boyfriend about it, which is standing right here with me right now as we speak. His name is Cedric. Would you please say hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey Cedric, how's it going?
Pretty good. Can't
Yeah.
complain.
Yeah. I'm
And
so happy to be talking to you. Like
I
all of
am
you.
truly grateful that someone even knows elsewise. But what I did was when my son told me this,
Mhm.
I immediately called Chris
Yeah.
and I told him, you are no longer allowed to be around my family, my home, or anything. If you come over here, I will be calling the police.
Yeah.
I do owe Chris $200 in cash. How he gonna get it, I don't know.
You don't owe
But
him
immediately,
anything.
but with Chris, like I don't want to even keep talking about him. We let him go,
Yeah, that's the
and
best. It
I
really
think
is.
it was. I really do think it was
Mhm.
because I feel like he was just trying to open Zaire up
That's yeah.
to that part of life, and
Yeah.
that ain't what he needed.
No, no,
So
nobody
I ain't gonna
nobody
lie,
does.
Zaire. I'm not gonna lie, Zaire has been a little messed up, but
Yeah.
I'm glad he's acting out a little bit, but not to the point where as
Yeah. Well,
I can't control him.
all you can do is
I'm
love him, love that boy as hard as you can cuz that's what he
and
needs.
then that much more, and then more,
Yeah.
especially knowing Chris and everything. Like, but Zaire, he's the one that actually told me he was like, "Mom, like I ain't gonna lie." When Zaire came in my room this morning, I was literally just waking up. I hadn't been up 30 seconds.
Mhm.
But he sees my eyes open and he knows he can come to my room.
Yeah.
And he goes, Mom, Mark hit me up. I'm thinking he's talking about my dead uncle.
Oh yeah?
Honestly. That's what I thought he was saying. I was like, hold on. So I kind of sat up like, okay, hold on. You don't even know Mark. He was like, but mom, I do. I was like, oh Lord, the death that approached us.
I have been
But
praying for that boy so hard. Like he
and your
want
prayers definitely came through, and I'm
he
pretty sure. Please keep saying what you're saying.
yeah. And listen, I'm just so happy. I don't even know what else to say. I'm so happy to be able to talk to you. I'm so happy to know that Zaire's alive. My goodness, like you would not believe the speculation that was going on. And I'm the one that kind of started like, where is Zaire? What happened to him? Because those people at
He
Dinosaur
had a
Adventureland,
lot of people.
they didn't want to
He
talk
had a
about it.
lot.
Yeah.
But Chris even brought a couple of males to my home with Zaire, and all they talked about was Zaire. And I know Chris Hart means well, but if you can't stop tr- trying to fondle with children, then
Yeah.
you don't need to be around him. I'm not gonna lie and say he wasn't a good person around us. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. But you had no right, even with the information you informed me of, you had no right to be around my son. And even though you were around my son in that way, you should have told me first. My son shouldn't have told me.
Yeah.
I feel like if it was all innocent, and this is how I feel, and this is why I stopped talking to him, okay?
Yeah.
I feel like even with everything you told me and everything that you know about yourself, if you had to be around my son in this way, you should have told me first.
Right.
And maybe we can, you know, but I'm not gonna lie. He did try to teach my children, all with everything or whatever. But you should have told me first. My son shouldn't have told me that.
Right.
And you know what's against you. You already know that's against you because you told me first.
Yeah.
You didn't
And it never should have happened. It never should have happened.
exactly. And then, like you said, that's called grooming or whatnot.
Grooming.
And that's
Yeah.
how I felt.
Yeah.
Hold on, it's called what?
Grooming. Like you
There
groom.
you go.
Yeah.
So I feel like when my son came and told me, I don't really think, honestly, when this situation happened with my son, I don't think that Chris was thinking that Zaire was gonna say anything.
Of course
Because
not.
how do you just say, how does a child just say, well, yeah, I was touched with a paper towel.
Yeah.
But Zaire comes home, he tells me everything.
That's
And I'm
good.
so grateful that we have that bond.
Right. It's
Because if he wasn't telling me about the trip to where it ended, I wouldn't have learned it.
right.
I would have never learned it. He could have just told me about the trip and just stopped.
Yeah.
And then he could be messed up for life right now. Because if he would have never said anything, then it would have started off paper towel. Then it would have started off with a hand, and it would have went on further.
I don't
And
even want to know
then
where it could go. Just I don't want to
exactly,
think about it.
I don't need to know that part, especially about my boy. No,
Yeah.
or whatnot. And then I have other boys. I got girls. I don't need to know. But Zaire came home from Dinosaur Land, and he was so excited about talking about it. He told me every last one of your names.
Yeah.
He was how he rode a dirt bike and he did all kinds of stuff I ain't even done before.
Yeah.
But at least he got to experience it
Right.
through Chris,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm proud for him for that. Not proud of him, but the fact that Chris even done that with him.
Well, yeah, but it's clouded by that
Yeah,
now.
exactly. It's clouded because Chris knew what he was doing.
Oh, of
And he
course he
knew how
does.
he was gonna try to suck it in.
Yep.
But Zaya came home and he told me about 16 names of everybody he met that day.
Wow. He's got a
He
sharp
told
memory.
me.
He's sharp.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. And I ain't gonna lie, I don't remember now one of y'all names. I ain't gonna lie. But Chris, came to my home after this particular trip.
Mm-hmm.
We had just moved. That's how I know it very vividly. Chris came to my home dropping Zaire off with another male in the car. And Chris knows if you bring anybody to my house, let me know so I can be alarmed
Yeah.
or whatever, because I have a lot of children, you
Right.
know. But he knew that in his eyes, that anybody he brought to my home were gonna get Southern hospitality. That's what I do.
Yeah.
But the guys, Chris and I don't know if it was two guys or three. I want to say it was two because Chris came to my house two different times. It was three guys in the car one time, two guys the second time. And that was when Chris took Zaire to Dinosaur Land.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Dinosaur Land existed. I thought they were lying.
Really.
I ain't gonna lie. The whole story my son sat here and told me, and the pictures is the only thing that's like, okay, y'all went to the desert, basically.
Yeah.
But at least he showed me pictures. He showed me all the stuff that he's done with my son. And Zaire is not the only child he's taken with him. He's also taken my daughter, with him, which is, Zaire has a sister
Yeah.
with, like, both of them have the same mother, same father. But I got four baby daddies
Yeah.
or whatever. And, like, he has taken her out to Atlanta also. But even anytime my children leave anywhere, not in my care,
Mm-hmm.
I do ask them, did anybody touch you?
Yeah.
Did somebody, you know, and, and they, whatever they say. But it's always been, no, mama, what you talking about?
Yeah.
Well,
Well.
we had this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just teaching my 3-year-old now about what her pocketbook is, if that makes
Oh
sense.
yeah. That's
But I can't tell her
a
pocketbook,
no-go zone.
but she's a 3-year-old, and
Yeah.
now it's the time
Right.
to let her know what her areas are.
Yeah. You
I just
gotta.
started teaching her, and I was shocked she picking up very fast, and I'm letting her know nobody's supposed to touch you in these areas
Right.
except for the doctor, your mama, or your daddy. Anybody else touch you, you come tell mommy. You go tell daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy going to prison. Daddy, look, he just said you come and tell daddy somebody touch you, they going to prison.
Yeah. That's how I feel
But that's
about
how
it.
we felt. That's how we felt when Zaire told us.
Yeah.
He, Cedric, my boyfriend,
Mm-hmm.
wanted Chris's address. I've been to his mom's house a couple of times, but it was following him there. So I never took the address in my GPS. So I don't have no recollection in my phone to say how to get there. But man, oh my goodness. I only been there 2 times because of my other daughter, Jasmine, Zaire's sister, Jasmine. And if if I would have been able to get ride all the way back to South Carolina to Chris's mom's house, he would have did it so kind. If Mama would have came to that door, but if
Mm-hmm.
Chris would have came to that door, he probably would have tried to run out that back door,
Yeah.
and
I can
Cedric would have
imagine.
caught him.
Yep.
Cedric would have caught him. I seen my boyfriend run. I've seen this guy in person, and Chris wouldn't have had nothing.
Oh, he's got that wide receiver speed, doesn't he?
I don't know what it is, but I guarantee you, Chris was not gonna get away. I promise
Yeah.
you.
Yep. No, I trust me. I've had some. I've had to deal with a lot of anger concerning Chris and some others that are affiliated with that dinosaur place. That yeah, don't ever
And then
say
it's first because you did mention something about you left or stopped going to a place
yeah.
because he kept coming.
Right.
What did you mean by that?
I was working at Dinosaur Adventureland. I was a volunteer there. And Kent he's the guy that runs the place. He's best friends
We
with,
know Ken.
yeah, he's best friends with Chris. And, everybody there, all the families there would tell Kent, like, look, this is not
Ken
right.
called me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go
Well,
ahead. I'm so sorry.
yeah,
Keep going.
we would tell Kent, like, you can't keep bringing him around. He's a registered sex offender. Like, this is not acceptable. There's children here. He's not even allowed to be here. But Kent wouldn't
Yep.
listen to anybody, and he would, like, if anybody would push him, like, don't bring Chris around, that's when he would bring Chris around.
Got you.
Yeah.
Because Chris did come back and he did tell me, like, it's a lot of people that don't want me there. But then you did this. You brought this on yourself.
Right. Yeah.
And with
That's
kids being around or whatever, and you a sex offender, no, you're not supposed to be around.
People want to come?
yeah. They're not supposed to be around
And you
children.
remember the first thing I told you when I first met Chris?
Yeah.
I told you everybody deserves a second chance.
Yeah. But even with
But
Chris,
you
like,
still,
since he presented himself as innocent, that's not even a second chance. He's lying. So
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, because
if
when
it's
he just touched my child,
yeah.
like he should have charges right now from South Carolina to Augusta.
It's gonna happen. That's something I wanted to talk to you about because I've been talking to the authorities for a year now.
Really?
Yeah, and the hang up this whole time, I didn't know how to spell Zaire's name, and
Correct.
I
So
didn't
you
think.
did say that's my fault right before my phone started acting up.
Now look, it's not your fault, okay? It's not anybody's fault. It's just it.
No, I just spelled his name different. That's all.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Like I was totally saying
It
that.
was a joke. It
Yeah,
was a
I was
joke.
joking. Just kind of a year's, 3 years worth
What
of.
do you need me to do if you already got allegations and you're already talking to authorities?
Yeah. So, um, yeah, I've been talking to missing and
Because
exploited
this man
persons.
can keep getting away with this.
Right. So,
And it's gonna be another single mother.
exactly. So we're gonna hammer him.
I will
Yeah.
respond. I am at work because I do work the next 4 days.
Okay.
Tell them to leave a message. Make sure you put that
Yeah.
on the note. Leave a message. But I really do feel like he was a great person in time, but that great person could have been.
Well,
And I don't,
when you're dealing with predators, um, they,
they know how to work around.
yeah, they know how to work people. They do.
And I'm honest to you, and I'm going to say this to everybody that I speak to. I'm going to be honest.
Hmm.
I'm going to be honest. He was a great person in my life, in my children's life. But the one part, he should not have done anything with the paper towel
Hmm.
or whatnot.
Right.
And I remember why he said a paper towel. But
Hmm. Well, this is
information.
it's this is yeah. It's good information. I hate that Zaire had to go through that. I hate that your family had to go through that. But rest assured that justice is going to be served. Chris is going to get his,
I
and
thank God
yeah,
that he didn't. If my son is telling the truth on everything, I'm glad he didn't penetrate my son
yeah,
because he could have been messed up for life.
right, for sure. I mean, any kind of molestation is going to mess somebody up in some degree, but I'm sure that would ruin somebody. I can't speak from experience because I was never molested, but whew, poor kid. No matter what, that's not okay for kids. I don't care. There's no excuse. Ever. Ever. Don't ever touch a kid. Not like that.
Ever. And I'm trying to remember because I can't call Chris right now, but I want to be honest with you also. I don't want to have nothing. And my boyfriend is sitting right here.
Mm-hmm.
You said it was called grooming.
Yeah.
And
Well,
when we
actually,
start,
the touching goes beyond grooming, but yeah, that would be it. It's a like a stepping stone, I guess you can say. Like they
all
don't
right,
these predators, they don't come on full blast. They gain your trust, they gain the kid's trust, and then it's like, hey, check this out. You know, a little bit here and then a little bit there, and then it becomes a problem. So,
this was in our life for 2 years, and he did respect me as a person.
hmm
And I'm gonna be 100 with you right now. Because he did listen. I don't feel like Chris, if he did anything, I feel like he is a changed person, but I don't need to find out the hard way.
right, right,
But I don't feel like he need to be punished for something that he did in the past if he's not doing it today. You remember I said everybody deserves a second chance.
right. Well, Chris had his second chance. You know, he's been to prison. He did his probation. Well, he's not going to get a second chance at not being a sex offender. But
Remember
yeah,
what? Hold
that's
on, let me get. Hold on for 1 second. Let me see. Let's go a little further before everything. Hey, Zayo, Zay, let me ask you a very personal question. Put that on mute. Nobody else need to hear anything I'm finna ask. Um, when Chris touched you with the paper towel, what was the reason that he done it? I need this. Was it that you were probably finna black out, or um, you need to tell me directly if you remember this particular time of day or night. What was the reason he touched you with the paper towel? All right. Did he touch you on your genital, meaning penis, with the paper towel? He did. And you don't know why. And you wasn't passing out. Where were you at this time? Hold on. You got to speak clearly right now. Okay. Was your clothes on or were they off? Just speak on exactly what happened that day when he touched you with the paper towel. You said your clothes were on. He pulled what down? Did he say why touching you? All right, yeah, we'll go through with this. I sure will. Because you shouldn't pull my, and you heard this from my child.
hmm all right.
You heard,
Yep.
and there's no explanation to why you pulling my son's pants down, walking into Ghost Mobile and pulling his drawers or underwear. There is no explanation to that. No. And you just heard me, like, I'm not quoting my son nothing. I'm not.
Did anything happen while he was at Dino Land?
Did anything happen while you were at Donald Land? And do you understand? I am on the phone with Mark. Do not lie. And definitely,
Woke up
did you
feeling weird.
did you hear my son?
hmm
All right. So yeah, I will go through. I will be going through with whatever the authorities need.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
it needs to happen, cause that ain't right. That ain't right at all. Mm,
And how is it not right? I wanted to honestly. I wanted. No, Chris ain't like this. Chris ain't do this. It was an honest mistake or whatever. But as me and you just heard my son,
yeah,
he said what he said,
I heard it.
and you heard it to your ear like I heard it to mine.
Yes, ma'am.
He just said he woke up feeling weird around Chris. So yeah, whatever they need, I'll do it
Yeah.
because
Okay.
son, my son ain't making nothing up. I know that.
Yeah.
And even though he didn't tell me about the weirdness part, he still told me enough to be
Yeah.
like, no, don't come around us no more.
That's right.
He's my son still gave me that much.
Yeah.
And he just gave both of us a little bit more information. And you can hear I'm not quoting my son to say, no, say he did this or say he did that. No, you tell me
Right.
what you felt at that time or whatever. Now, I'm not around my son right now either, but where I've been talking to you is in my room, and my
Okay.
son is in another room. But
Yeah.
my son just said, and you know, I've been talking to you without my son's presence because you don't hear him in the background.
Right. Right.
I've told you that when Chris came around, he seemed like a very nice person, teaching or, helping me with my smaller children or children in general with everything. But my son just said two things. He pulled my pants and my underwear down and touched me with this paper towel. So
Yeah.
you still have that right. I'm your mama and I ain't even done that.
Right.
You know. Then he said, oh yeah, it wasn't at Donald land, but it was somewhere else when I woke up. I felt weird, but I don't know if he did anything. So you could have done anything with my son. You could have told him you were giving him a, say, aspirin and gave him something else to put him to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I And
Mm-hmm.
then my wakes up feeling weird. Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
This we gotta take care of this.
And
That man needs to be in prison. Actually, he needs to be shot. And I I don't even like to say that, but you touch a
Yep.
kid that way, you touch a kid that way, you don't deserve to live.
because you shouldn't even try to even, like I said, and I'm going to speak everything I feel, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Because ever since this came out, I feel what I feel. I'm a human being.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a mom. I'm a person. But
And if you didn't
it
feel something, I'd worry about you.
is that, and may I speak on everything I feel right now
Please.
about when my son first came and told me that Chris touched him with a paper towel. At first, I questioned my son because he don't have no reason to lie on nobody for one.
Yeah.
When I questioned him, I made sure it was just me and him because I didn't want him to feel obligated, pushed, forced, or anything.
Yeah.
And I to talk to me. So I took him to the backyard and I asked him, how did Chris touch you? And he said, with a paper towel. And I asked him, was it on your penis? He said, yes, ma'am. Zaire only says yes, ma'am, when he's scared.
Mm-hmm.
But so he's being truthful.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, well, was it something you wanted to do? He said, Mom, no.
Yeah.
So how did this happen? And he said, well, I walked in Boost Mobile, the store I was working at in South Carolina. He said he walked in. Now,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I didn't even get to Boost Mobile without me being around. But I used to bring the kids with me. But sometimes the kids would be at school and Zaire would be with me, and I'd go and get me, Zaire, and Chris lunch. And Zaire felt like, okay, I can stay with Chris. I don't want to be around mom, if that made sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So, the particular day he's talking about, and this is crazy. And he said when he walked in that Chris spoke to him for a few minutes. They walked towards the back. And this is what he told me when he told me the story. I'm not trying to bring up today what he already told me. I remember this story because it still takes me down through there.
Yeah,
If
yeah, yeah.
I don't since I'm speaking a little slang right now, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep, he told me, and that's how I know. I ain't asked this boy about this story in over 4 months, and it's still the same story. But I don't need the details because I already asked you the details.
Right.
He told me that Chris was acting like he was getting him, Zaire and Chris, a drink from the back cooler. And it wasn't no lights on back there. I know that very well. I've been working for Boost Mobile with Chris for 6 months. There are no lights back there.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, Chris pulled Zaire's pants and underwear down, and he went to touch him with the paper towel. And Zaire, did he do anything else? And see, right now, even back then, but even right now, if a boy is touched inappropriate by another male, they don't want nobody to know that.
Yeah, that's true.
Right or wrong. They like my son is 14. If Chris did touch him sexually and he's not being 100, he don't want to feel like he's a faggot. Do that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No,
Because he
Zaire is not a faggot. No. Chris?
was shot, not by a long shot. But
Yeah.
I have right here, right before I called you, before I even text you anything, when I text you from his phone. Before I did anything, Zaire let me read the messages between you and Zaire. And I read these messages. And it brought up a whole pool of everything.
Mm-hmm.
My son, I'm grateful he does not seem like he was, but I'm not gonna lie either, Mark.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I believe you. I really
And
do.
then since then, and maybe he don't want to tell me if he was penetrated by Chris because he's embarrassed.
Right.
See, I'm just a mother, and if I don't feel like he wants to, Chris already told me he was convicted and everything. But see, I'm just one mother. If he didn't do nothing to my son, he can get the next one, or he probably did somebody,
Right.
and nobody needs to go through this.
Nobody.
It was medical that he had to pull my son's pants down. And you heard my son just say, he pulled my pants and my underwear down. I don't know what he was doing, but he did it with a paper towel. He touched me with a paper towel. But I don't know what he was doing. And my son has every right to need his justice. But the one thing I asked him, and this was very important to me right then, to this morning, my son, I asked my son if he feels bad that Chris don't come around. He said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. So if
Yeah.
Chris did something to him, he still don't want Chris around.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? He might not want to tell me because, of course, that's embarrassing.
Right. Well, here's the
Yeah.
good thing. Here's the positive of this. When I go and talk to the people I'm going to talk to tomorrow, there are professionals that know how to handle this carefully, and they're very good at getting accurate information.
First of all, thank you for reaching out for my son because if Chris done this like he told me, Chris knows what he's doing because first of all, you told me first.
Yeah.
But that was just your way of being like, yeah, 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 you're gonna hear this and you're gonna hear that. Secondly, I trusted you.
Mm-hmm.
Third, you touched my child.